Hello, and thank you for joining us at Emerson's booth at Pat Expo. I'm Pat Laurie, and we are thrilled to have you here today for an important discussion. The need to optimize operational performance has never been greater in an industry facing rising demands and efficiency, cost savings, and sustainable practices. Today, we're going to be exploring how Emerson is leading the way in enhancing operational efficiency and productivity to address these pressing challenges. I'm joined by two of our expert panelists, Cronin and Silvia Gonzalez, who will help us dive deeper into these priorities and discuss practical solutions. So, to start things off, let's discuss strategies for improving machine OEE and productivity in the ever evolving landscape of factory automation. Sylvia, what are the primary trends and challenges in the manufacturing industry related to overall equipment effectiveness and productivity?
Yes, so industry demands customers and companies to improve their operational efficiency, and they have several challenges. One of them is maybe they have data that they don't know they have available, or maybe they can't connect to that data. So we normally say stranded data is one of those challenges. And the other aspect that is important for customers when they're thinking about these kind of technologies is considering the fact that their processes have to be automated. There is a lot of customers that have manual processes right now. They use Excel spreadsheets, they use Word documents, and they're not automated. So then they're not as efficient. And then the other challenge that I see in the industry is the tribal knowledge. A lot of customers have people that have been in the industry for a very long time, and they don't have the information in a digital form for them to make decisions. So what can help customers is having information around availability. So, how are their systems running? Is there downtime? What are the reasons of that downtime? They need to understand performance. What is the production today? What is the production against my expectations? And then they also need to understand the quality of the products that are coming out. So, OEE is not something new. It's something that we've been doing for a very long time, though a lot of the customers are doing it manually, and having the information to make those data driven decisions is super important.
Let's go into that a little bit more. Why is it so crucial to have OEE in modern manufacturing, and how does that really impact profitability?
Yeah, I mean, OEE really helps you define your performance benchmark. We were talking about overall equipment effectiveness, availability. First of all, you want to understand if your asset is not working. Why is it not working? If you have downtime, is it because of the operator? How do you compare the shift one with the shift two to understand why downtime is happening, right? When you think about production, you want to understand, first of all, what are your goals of productivity? And then you want to understand if you're actually producing against those goals, right? From a quality perspective, do you have a scrap? How much scrap do you have? So, really, these three topics, again, OE is super relevant. If you can pinpoint specific areas of inefficiencies, you can resolve them, right? If you have data, then you can make those decisions. So, with accurate OEE, operation managers, production managers can make those decisions with the right information.
That makes a lot of sense. So, how can real time analytics really empower operators to make decisions in real time on the shop floor?
Well, it comes down to the operators having that information and KPIs to act on quickly. So I can make an immediate impact to my overall OEE number or percentage on the line without having that information there and getting it after the end of shift. Or if I have it real time, it's impacting my productivity and my profitability immediately.
So, then tell me a little bit how edge computing and IoT platforms can really enable that real time data analysis and then drive that corrective action.
Sure. So when we look at an edge device, just like it says, it's at the edge. What we mean by that is it's at the machine level, it's at the device level, it's providing us this information on how, is our machine up and running from an availability perspective? Is it meeting rate by productivity? Do I have a lot of scrap from a quality perspective? It's right there at the edge. I don't have to take that data and transport it up and bring it back down and then try to contextualize it for the operator. I could do that all at the device level, right there at the machine where I'm cutting out all that latency and that whole continuum of data. It's right there for them to use.
Makes sense. Now, let's talk about a real time solution and real time customer case where OEE data was used.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of those cases. One that I want to share is with a CPG customer, focus on food and bev type of solutions. And with this customer, pretty much everything that they were doing was manual. This customer, they bring bulk products like milk and soup and soda drinks. They package those, they send them to the end customers. And they work with the ERP systems, right? The ERP system generates the bill of materials, tells them what to produce. And what happens or happened at that customer is that the ERP guy will print out a document with information on how much they had to produce. He will bring that document back to the floor and then give it to the operator. The operator will write down how many units were produced, how many were scrapped. Everything was manual. So that is a big challenge because that really can create errors, right? You don't know what you're producing, or maybe you're mixing the information. So, all the setup and the subsequent transactions with that customer were the same, were manual. And the customer wanted to have better visibility into what was happening in the production line, in the overall manufacturing facility, but they did not have the ability to implement a massive manufacturing execution system platform. And they wanted to go step by step, little by little, to gain that visibility. So the customer wanted a scalable solution, start with a little bit of that visibility, doing a little bit of automation, connecting and interacting with the IT systems, being able to bring the information from the ERP system into the plant floor, and then having a dashboard that will allow them to see all of the information in one place. They even talked about having a competitive game there between production line 1 and 2, so they can see what is the production in production line 1 versus 2. So in this specific case, digital transformation really helped the customer gather the information and the data that they require to make better and more informed decisions.
So then it would make sense too that the OEE dashboard would help to sort of foster that culture of continuous improvement.
Correct. The importance of having a dashboard is the fact that you can see all the information in one place. So you are not going to be only looking at one production line, but you can then understand holistically, how are you doing? Why is your availability down? Why are you having problems with downtime? Is it really the operators? Is it the machine that is old, maybe? Why are you having so much scrap? Why are you having quality issues? So yes, a dashboard will help you with that.
Thank you so much for that information. So, Corey, tell me a little bit now about how edge devices collect and process and analyze data closer to the source, and what advantage does this really offer in terms of reducing latency and maybe enhancing decision-making processes?
Well, you just touched on it, latency. So I'm at the edge. I'm collecting that data. I'm contextualizing that data. I may be applying analytics to that data, and I'm providing that back to the operator or the setup or the maintenance person or this line supervisor to make decisions right there at the point of where it's happening. And that is really, from an efficiency perspective, the best way to look at it. And not only that, not only is it close to the edge, it's close to the machine, but then that data is not going to waste. I could also take that data up and then look at it from an enterprise aspect. I could compare machine line to machine line, and maybe they're making similar products in completely different locations around the world, and empower my enterprise to say, what are they doing better compared to what they're doing here? And really start to dive into that contextuality, that granularity of data that I can now get from those edge devices providing that data to them.
So, in what ways can decentralized analytics really optimize machine performance and enable predictive maintenance?
So from a predictive maintenance perspective, I mean, everything from a machine or a line perspective is getting smarter. We're building smarts into our any device now. You could almost get with some type of analytics coming from it that's going to tell you, like maybe it's a transmitter, it's telling you its health or it's having an issue. I'm now I'm now able to collect that information. I could take that information either from a local level, like we talked about before, and contextualize and tell an operator that you're having problems with the device, or I may take that up and say, I'm going to take that information to my computerized maintenance management system and say, hey, maintenance technician, when this line's down next shift, there's a problem from a predictive analytics piece coming from this device that I need to go out and repair it or replace it.
Yeah.
So it's maybe I could then schedule that downtime to where I'm not expecting to have production, not affecting my OEE, but actually enhancing it.
So edge solutions really facilitate quick decision making.
Absolutely. Absolutely it does.
Thank you for that. So let's talk about the key insights from aligning IIoT deployments with KPIs to measure success.
Yes, this is a super important topic because IIoT, or what we call digital transformation, requires you to know what those KPIs that you're targeting. Do you want to improve your throughput? Do you want to improve performance? Do you want to improve your quality? You really have to understand what are the problems that you're trying to solve and align those KPIs to your strategy, whether it's IIoT or edge deployment or and any other digital transformation solution.
So then how can companies really set relevant KPIs for machine OEE that drive operational improvements and ROI?
Yes, I mean, they have to understand what are their objectives, which is something that we very frequently face when we go in front of a customer. Some of the times they don't have this clarity on what specifically it is that they're trying to achieve. So is it reducing cost? Is it improving, I'm sorry, productivity? And KPIs really have to align with those objectives, right? If your KPIs are aligned, then your solutions are going to deliver on your expectations.
Interesting. Thank you. So then let's talk about integrating machine data with IIoT platforms and how that really enables better maintenance strategies. And what are the benefits in terms of minimizing unplanned downtime and maximizing uptime?
Sure. So when I think about the edge device and IoT from a maintenance perspective, I mean, I like to jump into what we call total predictive maintenance. There's something in there in that strategy called autonomous maintenance, meaning everybody's responsible for maintenance on that machine. Well, you may not think of an operator being responsible for maintenance, but through having those edge devices and those analytics and those OEE values and collecting that data, I empower them to make decisions as far as maybe there's something from an air setting that's off, or something as simple as maybe it's a lubrication route that I need to take that it's telling me that's bad. Or maybe the next level, I'm taking that information up to a computerized maintenance management system that's telling my maintenance personnel that there's an issue before it happens. And turning that all around and looking at that holistically from a plant perspective, when you implement those type of solutions, I'm really driving profitability in the end. I'm looking at it from an OEE perspective. I'm hitting all the key facets of OEE, but at the same time, I'm empowering everybody to take part in that as far as enabling them with the data they need.
So what emerging technologies do you think will shape the future?
Well, there's always the AI word out there as far as helping us determine what's going to be next to improve or what's going to be next to break down. From a maintenance perspective, that can't happen fast enough. And I know that from talking to a lot of customers. But there's a lot of customers also looking at that and really asking the question, how do I embrace this technology? You know, I think we're at kind of the cusp of really getting into understanding what that's going to look like. But I guess at the start, you really need to start with the data, and you really need to understand what your KPIs are and getting those things in place and starting your repository of data on how you're running your plant and your operation. Because that's in turn going to help feed those AI engines and those analytics in the future to make those improvements.
Thank you. It sounds like that could be a suggestion and really advice for manufacturers that are looking to invest in data analytics and edge computing and IoT solutions. What advice would you give to manufacturers?
I mean, the same as we were mentioning before, define your objectives clearly, define what are your needs, foster a culture, a data driven culture where everyone is making decisions based on information that you have out there. I think the one thing that I like to do when I go and talk to customers is ask them the question, what problem are you trying to solve? Is the problem worth solving? Because sometimes we're just trying to solve a problem that maybe is not going to add value to the organization. Do you understand who are the stakeholders of that problem, right? Because sometimes we focus on only the engineering team, but in reality, sometimes these kind of activities affect the IT organization, the services team, the maintenance team, operations, production. I mean, everyone really is affected by this information. So having an answer to those questions is very important. And the other one that I like to share is the fact that it's better to start small and grow from there. Find the problem and then resolve that problem and deliver value against that problem, quantifiable value against that problem, and then going to the next one. Because we all jump into this big data. Remember, I mean, I was a manufacturer at that time. We jump into this big data excitement. Reality is you have all of that data. You have no idea what to do with it because you don't know what problem you're trying to solve. So involving stakeholders, understanding the problem, quantifiable value of that problem solved, and also understanding if you have the information necessary to make those decisions. Because maybe you are in a place where everything is manual, like we were saying at the beginning, or maybe you have some automation, but you are in these islands of automation where you have automation here, automation there, they're not talking to each other. It doesn't help you. So where are you in your maturity level? And then with that, make the decisions on how do you deploy that project. So when we talk about digital transformation, when we talk about IIoT, edge devices, when we talk about OEE, all it starts from a problem that we have to solve and understanding what data will help you solve that problem.
And make sure you want to solve that problem.
And make sure
Yeah.
that you want to solve it.
And I also think a lot of that too, you've got to really roll back and think about, I mean, continuous improvement and lean has been around forever.
Ever.
But what all these tools really do is enrich that environment to a level that we've never had before. So when you think about getting that granular of data and that contextualized data that before that it would take to the next shift, that it come out on paper and that operator would say, or that setup would look at it, or the supervisor would look at it and say, oh, that's what happened. That's what I need to do. Now I could actually have that almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
And when you think about the power of that aware edge and looking at OEE and all the, I'm going to say maybe older school tools that's been really given, I'm going to say kind of turbocharged up to what they are now, what they can do in implementing these technologies into your plants.
Well, Corey and Silvia, thank you so much for your valuable insight today and sharing all the information with us. It's clear that optimizing operational efficiency and productivity is essential for meeting today's industry demands, and Emerson is proud to be at the forefront of these advancements. For those who want to learn more about how Emerson can help you reach your productivity and sustainability goals, we invite you to visit emerson.com. There you're going to find detailed information on our innovative solutions and how they can make a difference in your operations. Thanks everyone for joining us. We look forward to partnering with you on your journey to a smarter, more efficient future.